and I run it, and I run it, and I run it, and I run it. Yes, I run it.
1, 2, 3. Yo, Jazzy TV, I'm here with Matsukawa. What's up with you, bro?
What's up, man? Nice to see you.
How's your day been so far?
Been good. Been chilling. Did some stuff with this organization I'm a part of called Community Loving, so we're like prepping for this like big event we're gonna do, just to get back to like moms, kids, community, stuff like that.
So why don't you tell people a little bit about yourself, what you do, all that?
I'm a producer, engineer, also an artist as well. Kind of put down the artist stuff for a little bit for right now, at least. We'll see what happens, but my focus right now is producing and engineering. I also play like guitar and a few other instruments. So yeah, sometimes I'm on stage as well.
So when was the first time you ever picked up a guitar?
I was like 9 years old, and it was because of Guitar Hero. It was literally the video game. I think it was like one night my uncle like had it in his apartment or in his loft, and me and my cousin were playing it, and I came home one day and I was like, I want to learn this, And my dad had a guitar that he like bought but never really
Was it an acoustic or electric? The first one.
It was an electric. It was like a Squier Stratocaster, like the Fender ones, like black and white. Pretty like standard, like first guitar. Like if you want to learn, they like get the little package, the little combo amp, in the Stratocaster guitar. So yeah, that's the first one I started off with.
So can you play acoustic as well?
Yeah. I mean, the tunings are the same.
Yeah.
I typically play electric, but I do like acoustic. I think like acoustic, it's like harder to cheat your way around it. Like you can't throw any effects for real, and like try to like finesse it or like throw a long reverb on it and just hit a note and kind of make it sound big and everything. It's all about like what you play and like how clean you play it. It's really hard to cheat your way around it, but I enjoy both for sure.
What made you want to get into music in the first place?
I've kind of always liked music, kind of growing up. Like when I was 4 or 5, like I was really into all like the pop stuff at that time, like Backstreet Boys, like NSYNC and stuff like that. So like early 2000s, like pop music. And then my parents are from Peru, so like there'd be like certain like Latino music that they like grew up on too, that they play around me. And then what do you call it? Yeah, when I was 9, I got into rock music as a Guitar Hero. I was playing guitar, got like real far down that path, and like there's a lot of like rap music at that time that was like popular too. So like I was listening to that stuff too. And yeah, it just kept like evolving. Like it just kept going down different directions, different genres.
So when you make your beats, do you ever play like any guitar and put it in, like plugins or?
Yeah,
plug in your
typically.
instruments? Yeah,
I would say that's kind of like what most people who like work with me in production like kind of look for. It's like a live instrumentation and stuff like that. I try to keep it as tasteful as possible. Like I feel like being a musician can be like a gift and a curse in songwriting and production, because sometimes we can get kind of carried away and look at it as like an activity for ourselves, and like we love playing like the most complicated thing and like the most challenging thing, when in reality it's like when you're songwriting and producing, it's like most of the time the focus is like writing the best song, and like that's not our natural instinct a lot of the time. So I normally like do the live instrumentation on.
What kind of beats do you usually make? Like what style do you go for?
It really depends on the artist I'm working with. I'd say the last few years I've been like really into like just like the LA into like the LA rap scene. Yeah. So I worked with a lot of rappers within these last few years, so I think a lot of like the 95 to 100 BPM like LA shit, like that's kind of been like a thing I kind of been like working around, but also like giving it a different like edge to it, different like coming with something original, not something that's just like straight rips of people.
How do you incorporate like kind of rock music into your like beats?
In my production.
Yeah.
Man, I think like I think it's just like a part of my taste. You know, I don't think I necessarily like try to like go for it in a sense, but I think it's just like what my ear tends to like gravitate towards too is like sometimes it's like it'll be like real industrial sounding stuff, like stuff that's a little bit more noisy, a little bit more like distorted, like less polished. Like I really loved like Yeezus, and like I love like, you know, kind of just like rough around the edges production. So I think that's like my taste. So I kind of just default to that without necessarily intending for like a rock sound, but it's got those characteristics.
Do you do you make beats for a specific artist, or do you like make beat packages as well, or?
I do packs sometimes.
Do you prefer to work with like one
People
artist?
with
Or?
Yeah, I mean, I vary. I think I like a little bit of like everything. I think like sometimes I like, you know, locking in with somebody in the room and like working on stuff for a long period of time. Sometimes I like, you know, just you know, sending stuff in and seeing what gets back to me. You know, music's such a like creative thing that like, and so much of like a feel thing, and you know, artists are like all different. They come in all different, you know, shapes, sizes, and you know, like they all have their like different habits and stuff. So for me, it's just about like adapting to whatever's like going to help get the best out of them. You know, so if I need to be there, if I don't need to be there, like I'll just kind of play it off by ear.
Is there any artist you like specifically working with, like someone you know like has a good collaborative energy with you, someone that's like always heat when you guys work together?
Man, there's so many. I think like, yeah, there's so many that I really enjoy working with. I'm trying to think of like, man, there's like an extensive list. I'm trying to think. Like, really like working with Vince Staples. Recently been working with Kid Cudi a little bit. That's been cool. Enjoyed that. My homie Michael Uzuru, he's like a phenomenal producer. He did Nights by Frank Ocean, like a bunch of other songs. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's plenty of people. Like sometimes the process is like, you know, the same day you'll get like a really fire song and it'll be like phenomenal. Sometimes the process is like a lot more extensive and really grind away at like the idea. So, but I enjoy it, you know, through and through. I think like as I've gotten older, I've like really appreciated the grind sometimes it takes to like get to like what we're trying to go for, you know.
So do you collab with other producers as well?
Yeah, I do. I like producing with my homie Ashton McCrate a lot. He's phenomenal. I do like, you know, like I have a couple of like go-to friends, like my friend Ken Taylor, love producing with him. My friend Yori, it's been a while since we've worked on stuff together, but always love, and he's incredible. Michael, of course, love working with Michael always. So yeah, and then, you know, for me it kind of depends. Like sometimes I'll like be an engineer, but I'll be working with producers. Sometimes I'll just be instrumentalist. You know, I'll be working with producers. So I kind of like, you know, just serving the music, however way I can.
When did you first start taking music seriously?
Pretty immediately, I think. I think like by the time I was like 10, 11, you know, I picked up guitar when I was like 9. So like when I was 10, 11, it's like it really settled in my head that like this is really what I wanted to do. And yeah, really ever since it's been that, really, like been a long time.
What was the first song you ever like wrote or made?
Oh my god. Man, I'd probably be like 4th or 5th grade. I don't know if I like vividly remember like I don't know if I vividly remember like my first song, but like I do remember like the first things I were recording were in Windows Movie Maker, and like I was using like a PC and like there was 2 tracks on that software. You know, it's a video editor. It wasn't a music software, and I would just like use the narration track to record something on the webcam mic, and then use the soundtrack track as well, and then like I would dub stuff, and then like I would have to like delete tracks because I'd be playing it out the speaker and then like playing over it at the same time. Just do like really like janky stuff to put these songs in, and then I like put them in iTunes, burn a CD with them. So I kind of remember doing that when I was like 10.
So you made CDs of like yourself?
Yeah,
Would
like
you give them to like friends or family, or was it just
yeah,
for you?
I definitely like gave them to like my grandma like a lot. That shit was funny. Like she like would give them out to like family, friends, and stuff like that. So yeah, like she was like the first person to get all that stuff. It was pretty funny.
So would you say your family was like very supportive from the beginning of like your music?
Yeah, definitely. I'd definitely say so. I think I have like a great support system. I've been very fortunate. You know, I know that's not the case all the time. So yeah, yeah. Honestly, like, you know, my parents would help me like get certain gear sometimes, or like they would just take me to lessons sometimes like that. We'd have a family friend that was like kind enough to give me lessons all the time. His name's Brian. He's great. I still talk to him today. So yeah, and I would spend hours and hours like on YouTube forums and stuff like that trying to like get better and better.
So did you ever go to school for music, or were you just kind of taking like lessons from like friends or like on the side?
I went to audio engineering school for like 9 months. It was like a trade school program. Like right out of high school, I like went. It was called SAE Institute in LA. They don't exist anymore, which is the crazy thing. They're like a worldwide school like engineering program, but the LA location doesn't exist anymore. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I spent a lot of time in there. They had studios up in there, so like after class you could rent the studios out, and I just was booking them that whole period of time.
Would you say it's better to go to school, or is it easier to be like self-taught, or what would you recommend?
Man, I really think just trying to learn as much as you can with whatever you got is, you know, key. Whether you go to school, whether you know, self-teach yourself, whether you like go to a studio intern and like learn from people inside there, you know, whether you get mentored by somebody, like I think just like absorbing as much as you can from everybody is important, because like, you know, as somebody who has gone to school, you know, I've also like learned a lot of things from people who didn't go to school for engineering and music and stuff like that, and like I just like intern at studios and stuff like that. They taught me a lot, you know. So yeah, I don't think there's like a right or wrong way to do it. I think just try to get as much as you can.
What area did you grow up in?
I grew up in here in Torrance, like North Torrance, Gardena, around there. I live like right on the cusp of like North Torrance, Gardena, Lawndale, and Hawthorne. They're like all like really close.
What would you say your experience was kind of growing up in this area around here?
It was cool. I mean, it was really cool. I'd say it was like very it was pretty calm, honestly. Like the only thing I wish there was more of growing up was like just more of like a musical culture here, like specifically in this area. Like there's more musical culture like in Compton, in Inglewood, South Central. Like there's like music is very like.
So there wasn't a big music scene here?
Not at all. I would say like it like was everywhere else around except for like the pocket I lived in. So it was really interesting. So I had to kind of venture out or like hit people online and like, you know, try to like make music with them. It was just different. Like there's a lot of people I knew from other places in LA that like came up with people and like would like come home from school and like make beats in FL together and shit like that. Like that was not the thing. Like where I went to school for real. So yeah, no, that's the only thing. But it's pretty calm here. I mean, you know, I love it here. The weather's great. Food is great. You know.
How did you go about like networking, kind of getting in touch with a lot of the artists you work with?
Online, honestly. You know, it was very, very few people that I met like going to school that like I connected with, but I'm still like really close to everybody. So like in proximity. So, you know, I just like would find artists like online and like try to like link with them. artists that I liked, of course, and then we'd make music together, and it'd like just be word of mouth. Like sometimes like I work with certain artists that were like, let's say like a little bit smaller, but they like were really tight to me, and we'd make some music, and then maybe somebody like bigger in the area would like hit me up to wanting to work or something like that. And just like like really utilizing like Twitter and Instagram specifically like has helped a lot. Still helps a lot to this day. Truthfully.
Do you have a favorite song or beat that you made?
I don't know. I think out of all the stuff that's out, I think one of the things I'm proud of is probably like the song I'm proud of. I just that song came together so fast. It was like 2 days or something like that from like start to finish. And like Vince asked me to add some parts in, so I added some parts in, and like I got like the finished product within the next day or something like that. So to this day that's like something I'm very proud of, because that's an artist I really loved growing up, and like he's somebody I really consider like a great friend and like really great collaborator. So and the song's just great to me. I really love how it came out. So that's something I'm really proud of. But there's plenty of songs that I'm like just as proud of, and some of them aren't out. So it's like that thing. But that one, out of everything that's like out and like done, it's like that's one for sure that sticks out.